ISO 27001 Annex A 5.30 ICT Readiness for business continuity. Okay, so this is the second of the Annex A controls, if you're doing them in sequence, that looks at business continuity and disaster recovery. You see the introduction of the word ICT, it's the second time we've seen that, right? So the standard liking to call it ICT, that's fine, we call it IT, just whatever, I think they're trying to get it to catch on. But what we're looking at here is making sure that our technology can recover in a scenario where business continuity has been invoked. Super high level. Business continuity. Business continuity is the processes of what the organization is doing in the event of an outage. What is the business doing? What are the business processes? What are the teams doing? Where are the teams going? How are the teams communicating? How are you communicating with customers and with PR? There's a whole business process that goes on. Underneath that, what you have is disaster recovery. Disaster recovery is the technical recovery of a thing. So a technical recovery of IT, a technical recovery of a system, a database, a network, a server, whatever it may be. So business continuity, disaster recovery. Disaster recovery can also apply to other teams, right? So things like HR. What are the specific steps that HR are going through to physically move people, for example, right? So that's disaster recovery. How are we recovering from that disaster rather than business continuity planning, which is what is the business doing in the event of an outage. So a little bit of a caveat. I said it on the last tutorial. This is based around a pre-existing standard. We've land grabbed into business continuity, a standard that exists in its own right, ISO 22301, the standard for business continuity. If you want to understand more about that, please go and have a look at that. The toolkit templates that I give you are based on that and fully meet that, so it won't come as a surprise to you, but we are going to be implementing to the 22301 standard. So ITC readiness should be planned, implemented, maintained and tested based on business continuity objectives and ICT continuity requirements. That's what the standard says. What that presupposes is that we have business continuity objectives. You're going to need to document what your business continuity objectives are. Blogs, tutorials on that, template in the toolkit to do that with pre-existing objectives built in, and then a guide on how you can tweak that. So we're going to have what are those business continuity objectives. We're not touching on those in this particular tutorial. And the ICT continuity requirements. ICT, right? Technology. What are the technology continuity requirements and how do we identify those? The way that we do that is via a BIA, a business impact assessment. Blogs, tutorials and guides on the BIA, including a template on how to do it. But the basic premise is a business impact assessment lists out all of the technology that is relevant to you, and then through a process of engagement with the business, you identify the prioritization of the recovery of those systems. It has additional information in it, like how long can you exist and survive without that particular element being in place? How quickly do you need that element to be recovered? It's that information that you are going to be using when you come up with your plans and your tests for your disaster recovery, for your ICT disaster recovery. So make sure that you've got your objectives, make sure that you've got your continuity plans. Use them then to influence and inform your technical disaster recovery documentation, right? You have to be able to recover from an incident in the time that you have agreed with the organization. You are going to need a technical disaster recovery document for those priority systems. Again, I give you templates on that and I'm not going to go through that. That's going to be a blog and a guide in its own right. But the way that you're going to satisfy that is objectives, business impact assessment, quickly, how quickly do I need things, in what order do I need them? Here is the plan about physically how I recover that. Once you've got that plan, the standard requires you then to test that. Now I would be testing that once a quarter, once half yearly, once a year, right? It's going to be based on your requirements, but for a critical system, I would say at least once a quarter. It may be that you're in a high availability environment and you want to do that on a monthly basis. And there are different approaches to how you do that, right? You don't have to just switch systems off and then see how you recover, right? So be sure to watch those other guides and videos on that. But the requirement is that you're going to test it. So the audit is going to be looking at you and saying, have you documented your business continuity plans? Have you documented your objectives? Have you documented your business impact assessment? Can you evidence it? Have you documented your technical disaster recovery plans? And have you tested those technical disaster recovery plans? Can you evidence to me that you conducted a business continuity test and a technical disaster recovery test and that it met the intended outcomes of the plan? If it didn't, can you show to me that you adapted your plan based on continual improvement and then retested to prove then that you had confidence that the recovery that you have in place is going to be effective and meet the needs and goals of the business? We have to show that we're learning from lessons. That forms part of business continuity. But the mistakes that I see is people just not having it documented, right? Because it's new, because this is a new part of the standard, because we're land grabbing into 22301 business continuity, sometimes people don't have it. If you've been using my toolkit since the beginning, you have it, right? Because I've always operated in this way. I've always given you the toolkit, the tools, the templates, and the process for 22301 business continuity. But if you haven't, then this is going to be new to you, and not having it documented is one of the biggest mistakes I see. Specifically, not having a BIA, right, a business impact assessment. It isn't something that has been required, but you do need it, right? So the standard hasn't required it. You've always needed it. Now the standard also needs it. So make sure that you have it. Also, testing can be a little bit of a mistake that we see. People don't test, or don't test to the point where they can provide confidences and assurances that the tests would be effective in the event that they were implemented in a real life scenario. So make sure you spend some time on business continuity testing and disaster recovery testing and evidencing that it achieved what it was that you hoped that it would achieve. So this is about planning. This is about getting ICT, your information technology and communications technology, ready. And it's about having those plans in place. I am Stuart Barker. I am the ISO 27001 Ninja. Some call me the online guru for ISO 27001. Whatever that may be, we're working our way through. You will find other guides, blogs and videos on both YouTube and the hightable.io website, looking specifically at business continuity and the templates that I've referenced. But for now, until the next tutorial, peace out.